CVS has been receiving alarming reports of doctors targeted by their state medical licensing boards for actually saving their patients' lives. It sounds crazy? Well, it's happening. Joining me now, Dr. Harvey Risch. He's the epidemiology professor at Yale School of Public Health and one of the most renowned minds in the country on epidemiology. Dr. Risch, what treatment is being targeted and how pervasive is this?
Good evening, Laura. So this is, of course, hydroxychloroquine, the word that nobody should ever say, according to half the population. It's a political drug now, not a medical drug, and that's caused the complete population ignorance. And I think we're basically fighting a propaganda war against the medical facts, and that colors not just population people how they think about it, but doctors as well. And there are many doctors that I've gotten hostile, remarks about, saying that all the evidence is bad for it, and in fact that's not true at all. And it's easy to show that all the evidence is actually good for it when it's used in outpatient uses. Nevertheless, the only people who actually see that are a whole pile of doctors who are actually on the front lines treating those patients across the country, and they are the ones who are at risk of being forced not to do it.
And Dr. Risch, how important would it be now, or significant, if the administration, basically through the FDA, rescinded that warning about hydroxy? It was complete bunk, made a mistake about the warning, and get out of the way of the relationship between the doctor and the patient for off-label use of a medicine that's been around for 65 years. Shouldn't Stephen Hahn of the FDA come out and say, look, we're not going to micromanage your decisions, and let this go?
Yes, it would be game-changing. In fact, all of the discussion that you had earlier on how to manage going forward through September, October, and into next year will change if there's prevention and treatment that works, that's available, and that's safe. And that is, in fact, the case. But the problem is, of course, that nobody wants to hear it and nobody lets it out except for you. You're the only one who's actually, in any way, the mainstream media that is allowing anybody to speak about the evidence for the usage of these drugs.
Now, I've got to say, Dr. Risch, I knew politics was corrupt, so I've been covering it for decades, and I knew the law has a lot of corruption because I was a lawyer for a long time. But I didn't know that you could have so much corruption in the medical field when it comes to bureaucrats, and I know there are a lot of good people in government, I'm not singling anyone, and just making people better. It's stunning to me. Last word.
I think there's been a lot, and we hardly know the extent of it, both from the drug companies, from political contrivances, and so on. I think it's very difficult. The circumstances now are difficult.
Dr. Risch, finally, do you think thousands of lives could be saved going forward if they released that hydroxy stockpile and even gave it as a prophylactic like India has done and other countries have done for frontline workers if they wanted it?
I think 75,000 to 100,000 lives will be saved if that happens.
Well, we're going to keep talking about it. Thank you for speaking out. I know some of your colleagues at other universities, Harvard, your rival over there, might disagree, but we're going to keep talking about it. Doctor, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Have you heard of this